Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Charlotte and I am an in-house paralegal full-time and part-time LPC student online with the University of Law. I started this channel about a year ago and it kind of fell off a cliff. Last year was a testing year. There was a lot going on and so it just meant that I really didn't have time to film, edit and upload videos. But I'm really hoping that I can get back into the swing of things and try and put out some content for you guys. Today's video, I am going to do a bit of a roundup on last year. So last year was my first year doing the LPC part-time, and let me tell you, it was a challenge. Juggling the LPC alongside full-time work is hard. I also decided to get a puppy and we bought a house. So there was a lot going on last year. I only have myself to blame. Let's take ourselves back to January 2022, which is when I started the LPC. I decided with my manager that I would continue to work full-time, and it was ingrained into my objectives that if I failed any exams, then we would review my working situation and see if I needed to maybe drop down a day or so. Luckily, I passed all of my exams last year, which I am absolutely delighted about. I didn't get the grades that I was wanting. However, when you put it into context, I'm just glad that I passed first time. So I thought that I would read off what I got last year. Like I said, I didn't do as well as I wanted. However, I think it's nice to share the reality of someone who's juggling everything and not doing fantastically. I think a lot of law blogs or people who have a platform in the legal industry are obviously tied to training contracts and they have to hit certain grades on the LPC, and they're also not normally working full-time alongside it. So I wanted to share a raw insight into someone who is doing it without a training contract, without that pressure, but also still wanting to do as well as I can and wanting to pass them. So in all of the competency exams, I got competent. I didn't do my client interviewing as I had a concession, so I do need to take that this year. In my wills exam, I got 90. I was so delighted about that. And then I realised that the grade doesn't actually contribute towards the end grade. So I was really upset because that is my best grade by a long shot. Next we have business law and practice, which I got 58 in. M&A, which was my elective, I also got 58 in, and then law and business, which is my master's element, I got 60 in. So none of those are fantastic grades. I am actually quite delighted with my law and business. I completed that in about 2 days and it was an essay, and for me to get a commendation in that, I think 60 is a commendation. Absolutely delighted. The other ones, not so delighted about. However, like I said, just really happy to have passed them. What I found the hardest last year was keeping on top of the LPC. If I can give you any piece of advice, it is to try and stay on top of the LPC as much as you can. I'm now in my second year. I started in January again and I'm already about 5-6 weeks behind on the course content, and it just gives you such anxiety. I don't recommend it. If you can avoid it, do. Work has just been absolutely crazy this year, and so I've been working longer hours and I've just been exhausted, and it's meant that I haven't had the time to keep on top of the LPC, do what needs to be done in the week that it is set for. It will really help you when it comes to consolidating and doing practice exams and just giving you way more time. Also, with the online LPC, there isn't much face-to-face contact, so the only face-to-face contact that you really get are study support sessions, which are held once a week. Sorry, I had to quickly change the battery, so if anything has changed, apologies, but hopefully it hasn't. As I was saying, I think that if you can attend the study support sessions, which are held once a week, again, highly recommend. I hardly attended any last year and I started attending this year, and they definitely give you little tips for the exam and what you need to be doing to prioritise certain areas and just generally giving you good tips. Again, because I'm so far behind now, I now don't want to attend because I have like this anxiety of I'm not going to have a clue what they're talking about in these study sessions. That basically rounds up last year. Not a huge amount to report. I would just say stay on top of things, attend the study sessions, and tab the hell out of your textbooks. They are literally gold dust when it comes to your exams. It's an open book exam with the University of Law, so you need to know where everything is, and you actually do need to know the information. So don't just think it's an open book exam, it's easy, I'll just find it when I'm in the exam. You don't have the time. I ran out of time on my business exam, and I think I missed 2 quite high marking questions because I just didn't have the time. Ensure that you actually know the content, you know where things are in the book, and you have your notes, and all of the answers for the workshops that you do throughout the course are hugely beneficial in the exam. They're normally similar scenarios, and that is basically your template to use for the exam. So have your workshop notes, tab your textbook, have your own notes, and that should really help you to be prepared for the exam. Moving on to this year I am studying dispute resolution and real estate. They're my 2 core modules, and then I also have advocacy, solicitor's accounts, professional conduct, and I think drafting as well, and that is all in this term. They definitely load up the second year compared to the first year, and I really wish that they didn't do that. When you're trying to juggle things part-time, I wish that it was more evenly spread across the 2 years. We finished in October, and now I've just started in January, and I understand that they're doing it on like a school calendar year, but I kind of wish that they didn't do that. It makes it so difficult for someone like me, or if you're in a similar position to me, it makes it really difficult to manage and juggle everything. I thought first year was difficult, and then moving into this second year, I've basically got an additional module. I'm finding that quite stressful. Dispute resolution, I have no idea what is going on. It is not a subject that I have a remote interest in. I am not a litigious or contentious person. I don't want to do that kind of law. I never have done. So for me, it's a means to an end. I have to do it in the LPC. It's a core module, but I'm not enjoying it, and I don't understand it that much. And it is so, you have to follow the rules. And yes, that's not the kind of law that I do on a day-to-day basis. So I'm finding that really difficult. Real estate, I have to say, buying a house last year is definitely helping with real estate. Title registers, searches with local authorities, completion documents, exchange and completion, and pre-contract checks, and all of that stuff now is general knowledge to me from doing it myself. Not that I would recommend buying a house before you start the LPC, just as a caveat, but it has definitely helped me with my general knowledge of real estate. Then we have solicitor's accounts. That's going pretty well. I find that's relatively easy. That's my first exam this year, so that's in April. And advocacy, again, I'm absolutely dreading. As I said, I'm not a contentious person. I really don't like that kind of stuff, so the thought of having to do an advocacy assessment is filling me with dread. After July, I then have my electives, and my electives this year I have chosen commercial law, employment law, and because I'm doing the Masters in Business Management, I have to do a case study report thing and then a presentation on that. So this year is off to a very fast start again. I wish that work was a little less busy, but yes, that's kind of an LPC roundup. Touching on my role at work, so that has definitely developed a lot, and in the last year in particular, my role has really ramped up in responsibility and difficulty. So I now lead the contract negotiations, so any new client contract or supplier contract comes on my desk, and it is up to me to review that, negotiate that, have calls with the client or whoever, legal counsel, to come to some arrangement before we move to signature. So that's a huge amount of responsibility that I'm getting now, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's challenging me. It's also making me develop a lot faster than it was the previous year before that, where I wasn't as directly involved. I also still act as the data protection officer, so again, that's a really chunky piece of my role. making sure that we are compliant and staying up to date with processes and procedures and making sure there's no data breaches and all of that. I also then still look after all of the board stuff. It's a bit more of a company secretarial role that I fill there, so I do the board minutes, attend the board meetings, do the minutes, set the agendas with the chair and the CEO, follow up with actions, attend meetings. Yeah, there's just a lot of management piece in there. And then I also do all of the company's house filings, any new written resolutions that we need. Yes, that's another big element of my role. So yes, I am doing quite a lot. I have just had my annual review, which went really well. I had really lovely feedback from everyone and some constructive comments as well. That is basically a roundup of work. It's just been getting progressively busier, higher level of responsibility, and I'm really loving it. I feel like I'm embedded in the industry now. I understand the industry and the nuances of it, which I think definitely benefits me when I'm doing the commercial contracts in particular. And I'm still absolutely loving being in-house compared to being in a law firm. It's kind of nice not to be surrounded by other lawyers. There's nothing wrong with lawyers. Most of my friends are lawyers, especially as I am so connected with the board. I find it really interesting to see how other minds work, highly intellectual people, and just find it quite inspiring to be around a room full of people who think very differently to me and very differently to each other. So everyone kind of complements each other. Yeah, it's just a really interesting environment to work in, very different to a law firm. In personal news, I got a puppy last year, which you would have seen if you've watched any of my vlogs. He is now just over 1 and he is absolutely beautiful. Love him to pieces. He's my child. And we bought a house at the end of last year, so we're now living in the Cotswolds, not London. So we moved from West London to West Oxfordshire, and we're also loving that. The house is a rundown cottage, so it needs a lot of attention and care and work to be done. It's a slow process as we are on a variable mortgage, so that keeps going up every month at the moment. My plan for future videos. Last year I realised that I don't have much time. My capacity is pretty thin when it comes to my availability. Last year I kept recording content for vlogs and then not having the time to edit and upload them. So the editing and the uploading is the time consuming part. The filming is just, you know, you're filming your day, so it's not that arduous, whereas the editing you have to sit down for a few hours and then upload and all of that. So I was finding that I've filmed loads of content and it's just sat on a memory card because I don't have the capacity to edit the filming. I don't know if you would be interested in me gradually editing and uploading those at some point in the future. They are vlog style videos of me going through the LPC last year. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see that stuff in dribs and drabs, but obviously it's not going to be time specific. Going forwards, I'm thinking that I will probably do 1 vlog style video a month, and then I wanted to do 2 other videos more sitting down. So one probably focused on commercial awareness. So I used to post commercial awareness updates on my Instagram page. If you don't follow me there as well. What I want to do instead is maybe do a monthly roundup over on my YouTube channel, which goes into the commercial awareness a bit more, relates it to law firms, relates it to interviews and how you can answer interview questions and stuff like that. If that would be helpful, again, let me know. Maybe give this video a thumbs up and that will be an indicator to let me know that you would like that. And then I think for the other sit down videos, I wanted to do something a bit more chatty and relatable. Say, for example, buying a house and the process of that. We didn't really have any idea. My parents never really educated me on finances and that kind of thing. So, you know, maybe buying a house, budget, my monthly budgets, a bit more financy stuff. I know that a lot of people like seeing that kind of content at the moment. Tips on interviews and how to get into law firms, the kind of roles you should be looking for and that kind of stuff, the entry level stuff. I don't know. Again, let me know if any of these would be helpful for you to have as content. So that is my plan going forwards. And that is my roundup of the last year and a bit. I really hope that you found this video helpful and given you an insight into what's been going on over the last year. I definitely want to get back into filming and uploading, so fingers crossed that this lasts. I also think there aren't many people on YouTube who are doing in-house legal content. So again, I kind of want to fill any gaps that there are and give as much insight as I can. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope that you have enjoyed it, and it's been lovely to be back and chatting with you guys. I'm hoping to post next week with more of a vlog style video, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you hit the little bell notification thing, then it gives you a notification every time I upload, so you don't miss any of my uploads. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. It gives me the knowledge that what I'm doing is useful and helpful for as many of you as possible. Thank you for dealing with my ramblings. I really look forward to keep posting, and I will see you very soon. Bye.